to what extent can you actually grow an ass through exercising? Oh, I have so much to say on this. How are you, my internet family, and welcome back for another video. And today's one is going to be a fitness Q&A. I know I've done a lot of personal Q&As over the years, but I've never done one answering exclusively questions related to fitness and food as it relates to fitness. And a lot of you already know this, but essentially when I was younger, I gained a ton of weight, and then my doctor was like, you gotta lose this weight, and I felt really uncomfortable and I lost the weight. Then I developed eating disorders. Then I spent years working on my relationship with food, and then finally when I was ready a couple of years back, I discovered a gorgeous, beautiful relationship with exercise, fitness, and I finally feel like I've made a lifelong habit. Exercise is like that song, You Got a Friend in Me. I just love it, and I've learned so much. And I asked you on Instagram to send me all of your questions. I've picked out the most common questions and a huge variety of them. Thumbs up for more Q&As, thumbs up if you enjoy it, if you learn anything from it. And the video is sponsored by Fabletics. They are an incredible activewear brand, and they offer 2 pairs of leggings for £24 for all new VIP members. And when I say member, think of it as being a member of a gym where you could actually skip paying the monthly membership if you didn't go that month, or if you didn't want to go, and where you can cancel your membership at any time. Essentially, that's what you're getting with Fabletics. Link is down there for anyone in need of new gym gear, and I'll chat more about them later. But for now, I want to dive right into this steaming pile of questions. The first question was, what's the greatest advice you've ever received with regards to exercise? And this advice changed my outlook completely once it absorbed, that we should all focus on what our bodies can do and what they're capable of instead of what they look like. And I feel like this really fuels intrinsic motivation, and I talked about that in my fitness habits I formed in my 20s video. So important to me to be motivated to exercise for good reasons, I'm not saying there's wrong reasons. I'm not saying wanting to look a certain way on holiday is necessarily a wrong reason. It just, for me, that wouldn't push me to develop a healthy habit of exercise. So yeah, bitches, focus on what your bodies are able to do. Your body is amazing. It's a perfect machine. And when you find that awe in how it can adapt and change and get stronger and stuff like that, that is something that will carry you through. How often do you go to the gym, and how long do you lift for? So I typically go 2 to 4 times a week, and I'd say I lift on average between 30 minutes and an hour. That's not including a warm-up and a stretch afterwards. So, when you look at how many hours there are in a week, like a 7-day week, it's not really that much at all. It is definitely very doable, and if I ever find myself trying to tell myself, I don't have enough time today, I look at my screen time on my phone. What's your gym routine like a typical week? And a lot of people ask questions like this, and I understand the interest in it, and I'm going to tell you, but at the same time, it's going to depend entirely. That's going to vary for people depending on what they enjoy doing and what their goals are. My goals are simply to kind of just maintain my strength right now. I don't really feel like I want to keep pushing myself any further than where I'm at now, because I really am happy with my fitness and my body at the moment. I'll walk every day, and then once a week-ish, I'll go on a little kind of jog outside with my partner, but we'll kind of just chat while we're jogging, and it's not anything too strenuous or anything like that. We'll stop if we need a rest. So we try and do that once a week-ish. Doesn't always happen. But regarding the gym, if I look at a week where I might go 3 times, what that would usually look like for me is day 1 would be full body. So I would be doing strength training with weights in the gym, and that might be upper and lower. So it might be a combination of squats and deadlifts, and then bench press and overhead press and a few bits like that. I usually aim for about 3 sets of 10 or 3 sets of 12, so I don't go super heavy, but I challenge myself, and then next workout might be just lower body, and then the last workout of the week would be upper body, and I might throw in a short high intensity interval training workout that day as well. Very straightforward. I don't like things to be complicated, but I do like following a program. I'm currently between programs, so I kind of just mix it up. As long as I'm doing something, I don't really care too much, to be honest. I'm not that fussy. How did you learn good form for lifting? It puts me off trying, knowing I'm probably doing it wrong. And here I would say for one day when you begin, just hire a personal trainer for one session, learn form, learn the technique, and then also ask the person who's working in your gym. I have multiple times been like, hey, can you watch me do this exercise and make sure I'm doing it correctly? Or can you comment on what way I'm doing things? Sometimes I'll look up YouTube instruction videos from different trainers and stuff like that. But yeah, like, don't attempt something and not ask for help with it. No one is expected to know how to do those things having never been taught them. You know what I mean? Right, there was loads of questions like this. How did you build a habit of going to the gym? What kinds of workouts did you start with? Do you think having a partner that was into the gym helped you on your fitness journey? Yes, it did, immensely. Because, like, they say that you become the most like the 5 or so people you spend the most time around. And years ago, you know, when I was a teenager and all that, I'd spend a lot of time with people who'd be smoking weed and just like eating junk food and skipping school and all that kind of stuff. And like, I remember reading this book and it was talking about how important it is to surround yourself with like-minded people with similar goals and people who are like positive and have good habits. And I was just like, what, am I supposed to just dump everyone in my life or whatever? Obviously not, but it's really important to be aware of. And then you can kind of give yourself time, maybe talk about your goals with the people in your life and see if anyone else has a similar goal, or just slowly gravitate toward new people who are on that level, who want to do those same things. I remember my ex, like, he was not into working out at all. Like, he wouldn't mind walking or going for long cycles. And so that's typically what I did while I was with him. And I felt like it was a massive effort for me to go and put on a workout DVD or just even just go to the gym or do anything like that when he wasn't kind of on board with it, because it meant that I was missing out on time with him, if that makes sense. So I do think it's a really good thing for couples to do together. I'm not bashing anyone who is not interested in that and their partner is. I'm just saying it's great if your partner is into that, because then it becomes a solid part of your routine and your daily structure, and you're way less likely to just be like, oh, I'm not going today, because it's just something that you do. In terms of how did I build the habit of going to the gym? Well, because it was already a habit for him, that definitely helped it becoming a habit for me. Around the workout, we would build in like when we're going to have dinner together and when we're going to have a shower together. Together showers, my favorite thing to do. If you want something to be a habit, you just need to do it over and over again. And it's the same with everything in life. So give yourself like a 1 month or 2 month plan of action and stick to it, and hopefully after that it has become so routine to you, like brushing your teeth, like having breakfast. You know, these things are written into our day, and you just have to do the same with exercise. And when I started going, like, I just started off doing all the things I'm doing now, except on very low weights or just body weight even, just to kind of get used to it. And I had no pressure on myself at the start. A lot of you might remember, like, I would just go and kind of figure it out as I went along. I wasn't like, oh, I have to lose X amount of weight and all these things I used to do years ago when I would start an exercise program. I, again, going back to like doing it for the right reasons, like I just wanted to slowly become the person who exercised, a person who just exercised and was fitter. There was no time limit on the go because I wanted to be forever, which really helped me. It takes this pressure off so that every workout isn't you killing yourself, you know. Like, I never feel like I leave the gym in bits. I just kind of go and do what feels good, and I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. A lot of people think of the gym as like torture. It's going to be torture if you're treating it that way, if you're torturing yourself with exercise, because it's a self-loving act. It's not supposed to be horrible. The gym is a little intimidating. Any tips? Multiple tips. Know what workout you're going to do before you arrive, so you don't feel like you're standing there like a spare tit with everyone staring at you, and focus on getting it done. Maybe at the beginning go during off-peak hours when the gym isn't very busy. Bring a gym buddy if you can, anyone. Have a killer playlist, have an exercise playlist, and stick on your headphones and just blank out everything and just get that shit done. Also know that everyone around you is not paying as much attention to you as you think they are. They're all concentrating on their own goals and their own workouts. And also before you go, like, make sure you feel good about yourself so that you can like walk tall. And for me, a big part of feeling good about myself is what I'm wearing to the gym, like wearing something I feel really cute in. Love that you always wear sports bras to the gym. Any tips for confidence? So I get really sweaty in the gym, like so sweaty, and I don't like being the only girl there who's suffering it out in a big heavy t-shirt. Apart from when I have PMS and I'm really bloated, then I'll suffer because I just don't want to be thinking about that situation, you know. But like in general, I like to invest in sports bras that give me great support, you know. It's so important to wear a sports bra, by the way. If you're new to working out and you're still wearing regular bras, don't. Your poor boobies. Also sports bras that are really cute and match with or go with several pairs of my leggings. I have quite a workout clothing collection because I obviously exercise like up to 4 times a week, and then also I wear exercise clothes when I'm going for walks and sometimes just around the house because it's really comfortable. So over the past 2 years it has become the biggest section of my wardrobe. Good quality is really important to me. I have in the past gone and bought these cheap exercise clothes that just fall apart after a couple of washes. I'm not into that. But I know we're all trying to save that coin, and that's why I agreed to be a Fabletics ambassador, because their clothing is actually worth quite a lot of money. Each individual item is quite expensive. However, they offer really good value to their VIP members, and if you want to be a member, you can access all of these great benefits on the screen here. And their big deal is the 2 leggings for £24, because there is nowhere you'll get really good quality leggings for that cheap. Each pair works out at £12, and something I know some of my viewers have done is shared a membership with their pals or with their family members. Really clever, gotta say. And yeah, so each month you have the option to spend your membership fee, but you don't have to. If you don't want anything, you don't need anything new, you can just simply skip by the 5th of every month. And if you forget somehow, like if you don't keep a journal or you don't keep reminders in your phone and stuff like that, it'll just put credit on your account so you can use at a later date. All of that info is down in the description box. But I have been living in Fabletics Gear recently, and they have stuff that's so varied with really great materials, you know, really thick, as figure hugging or as loose as you're looking for, and they have an amazing range of sizes as well. So I'm a very big fan of their brand because they're so inclusive, and also because they make quality workout clothing accessible to people who are struggling financially or who just don't fancy spending £100 on a pair of leggings. I personally love the whole membership element. Like, I also do this with an underwear brand. It just means that I have access to great offers when I actually feel like spending the money. The ability to skip the monthly payments makes it quite unique, you know, like you can't just skip your monthly Netflix bill if you don't watch anything, if that makes sense. But yeah, other than that, like wearing really good quality cute sports bras to the gym. Other than that, I would say like also focusing on the skin on my body. That makes me feel a lot more confident as well. Like, I have this big loofah brush that I've been using to like treat the acne that I had developed on my back. It's almost gone, like it's not nearly as bad as it was, but I put like an acne face wash from BioFresh, it's called Acne Out, and I put that on that and I scrubbed there. I also douse my body in an oil moisturizer. This is the one I use. It's coconut with lavender. It's like coconut oil with lavender scent. It's by Body Love. It's an Irish brand. I'll link them. I feel like this makes my skin look amazing, and yeah, that definitely makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. It takes like 10 seconds to put on. How to stop comparing your body to others at the gym. I definitely do this, but like not in the way that I used to do it. So I always notice everyone's body, like, and I, you know, I'm bisexual. I'll notice people. I'm not ever kind of putting them up against me and going like, this person looks better than me or I look better than this person. I'm looking at them and noticing our differences and just appreciating them for what they are, appreciating me for what I am. Let me know down below what you think about this, but I think it's impossible to not notice physical differences, noticing if they're fitter or if they have bigger boobs or whatever. Like, the only comparison I do make is like if I see someone who's like really strong, if they're a similar build and stuff to me, and if they're like lifting way heavier than me, but I don't get like freaked out or upset about it. I don't know, it inspires me. And I definitely think this is something that I've been working on for a lot of years. Like, I follow a lot of accounts on Instagram, for example, and of of women who are all different kinds of shapes and sizes and stuff from one end of the spectrum to the other, and I feel like doing that has helped me to just see myself as kind of part of this big ecosystem rather than everyone competing against each other, because we're not competing against each other, or at least we shouldn't be. Like if you are, that's all in your head, and you need to sort that out, because it's not a nice way to live where you're like, oh, that girl's stomach is perfectly flat, so my stomach should be perfectly flat. Like, imagine if you went through life thinking that way about everything. You know, you'd see someone and they'd be amazing on guitar, and then you'd hate yourself because you're not good on guitar. It's just a stupid way to think. Like, everyone is different. Everyone looks completely different, and the media has brainwashed us for years and sold us this ideal, and it's like we have to live up to this perfect ideal. That's not true, and I've just spent years really like breaking down those thought patterns, and yeah, I just try and see beauty in everybody. And when I see a girl in the gym looking absolutely amazing, like sometimes I'll even point out to my partner and just be like, God, look, she looks incredible. But I'm never thinking like her brightness somehow dulls mine. You know, it doesn't. We're different. What's your favorite kind of cardio? Uphill walk on the treadmill. That is my favorite form of cardio, or just like walking outside. I do the odd high intensity interval training workout, and I'm not gonna lie, not my favorite kind of cardio. It works the best, because you're having like the rest periods and then the parts where your heart rate is going crazy, but I just find HIIT really, really difficult. I added in a little bit anyway, but I start every workout with like a 5 to 10 minute uphill walk on the treadmill, so an incline. And it does work your bum well as well. It's a great workout. I love it. To what extent can you actually grow an ass through exercising? Oh, I have so much to say on this. First off, your shape is everything. You're born with a certain shape, like a certain fat distribution on your body, and you can't change that. No matter how sad you are about your lot in life, you can't change your genetics. I mean, people do get surgeries, like a lot of celebrities get fat transfers or like bum implants and stuff like that, but ignore that. Take your Jennifer Lopez's and your Beyonce's and your Shakira's, and you notice the teeny waists and the big bums, and you know a huge part of that derriere is genetics. However, exercise definitely helps to sculpt and kind of firm and lift and like plump the look of a really nice bum, and it can dramatically transform a non-existent bum like the type that I have. I am one of those people who will store fat in like my stomach and my arms and my face. Definitely never in like my lower body. I'm not pear-shaped, I'm not hourglass shaped, I don't have the wide hips, I don't have the big bum at all. But in saying that, if you're like me, you can grow muscle to shape your bum, and like mine has changed a lot. It used to have a literal edge. My bum had an edge. It had a corner, an ass corner, and I just didn't have an issue with it, because I was like, well, that's just my body shape. As body dysmorphic as I've always been, and the eating disorders and all that kind of stuff, I still pretty much was aware of the genetic differences between bodies and like that. I wasn't suddenly going to wake up in a body with a big bouncy bum. Like I'm not silly. Even when I was starting out my fitness journey and like lifting weights, and I was discovering how you can shape different parts of your body, and how certain exercise motions that are really, really good for you in general in your day-to-day life, in terms of like lifting things and like when you have toddlers and when you're going shopping, but they also improve the kind of firmness and just the look of certain muscles on your body, like your glutes. I didn't have high expectations, but I was like pleasantly surprised by how much exercise actually changed the look of my bum. I really, really was. With all that said, I have to be really on top of lower body workouts for my bum to kind of keep the blown up look. And I'm not always on top of them. Like, shit happens. Sometimes I might not get a lower body workout in for like over a week, and I know there's going to be a lot of phases in my life, like right after I give birth, like where I can't really exercise for weeks, and it's just going to deflate and inflate a little bit. But the thing is, muscle memory is a thing, and if you spend time growing that muscle, it'll kind of come back easier than when you do pick up working out that muscle group. Glute activation exercises with a band really helps me. So I would use like a tight, firm band, wrap it around like the area above my 2 knees, and just kind of like open and close my legs while I'm sitting down, or do crab walks, or do squats just with the band. Anything to wake the muscle up. And mind-muscle connection, really focusing your mind on the muscle that you're working out, and kind of imagine a line going from your mind right down to the muscle, and imagine that they're connected, and that with your mind you're like lighting up and sparking up that muscle and like activating it. And if you think about it that way while you're exercising, you're more likely to be using the correct muscles to do the exercise and not putting strain on other parts of your body that aren't supposed to be involved in that exercise. Basically progressive overload, just over time slowly adding either the amount of weight that I was lifting or the amount of reps that I was doing. Those are the things that like changed my bum completely. And I definitely don't have a Shakira shadonkadonk, but it's very different from my previous one, and I prefer the one I have now. How do you deal with plateaus when training? I always lose motivation to keep going. And so many questions like this. How do you motivate yourself to work out when you feel god awful? What's the difference in your good and bad days when it comes to exercise? The difference between my good and bad days is motivation. Like, I am not always motivated to go to the gym. Like, some days I'm literally like on the couch, no part of me wants to get off the couch. I think what always does get me off the couch is just the knowledge that I will feel better after the workout, and that realization has only come through time and through making it such a common thing that I do, like a habit. I'm not the same level of fitness year round. I'm not equally motivated for every workout. I have workouts where I go and I half-ass it, and that is absolutely fine as long as you just go again the next time and the next time and the next time. Like, add up the amount of times over the year you're actually going to the gym. Like, it doesn't matter if a bunch of them are kind of shitty workouts, it's still better than nothing. Yeah, I just know plateaus are going to happen, and I accept that. I welcome them. I don't let a plateau or like a little unmotivated phase knock me off it completely. I don't see the point of that. That's the same thinking to me as like, oh, it's like with the binge eating disorder that I used to have, like, oh, I'm after eating one takeaway, I might as well now absolutely just eat every single thing in sight until I fall asleep. And then the next day I wake up and it's like, oh, well, this whole week is ruined, so I'm just going to keep eating really, really bad, and then I'll start on Monday. I hate the Monday or the New Year's attitude, or like, diet starts Monday. Like, my brain does not work like that anymore, because I don't let it. I do not let it, and I just treat every day like a new day. I've said that a million times. You probably hate me saying that right by now, but it's so fucking true. Healthy dessert snacks. Okay, the ones that I like the most. Dates, chopped open, and you put peanut butter inside it. Tastes like Snickers. Dark chocolate every day, of course. I really like popcorn. I really like natural Greek yogurt with like strawberries and raspberries and nuts and honey on top. But also, all my snacks aren't healthy. Sometimes I just eat a bag of crisps. Do you have rules when it comes to the way you combine certain foods? No, but I do just aim to get like all macronutrients in at the majority of my meals, and that's just because I then feel fuller for longer. I just like that kind of idea of a balanced diet. I try and always have like fruit and vegetables with nearly every meal as well. That's about it. Do you track your protein? I'm pregnant and I'm not big on meat, and it can be hard to get enough. I actually don't, but I do kind of have a fair idea of how much protein I need, just because I briefly tracked macros ages ago and I realised how hellish and horrible it is. So yeah, I kind of know what enough looks like for me. And I measure enough based on like, are my muscles growing, or am I having like muscle pain the day after the gym? It's always the first time you exercise after not exercising for a while, you get delayed onset muscle soreness. It's called DOMS. That is not what it actually feels like every time you lift weights. That's only if your muscles aren't used to lifting the weights. So in general, if I even have like I don't know, any muscle pain the day after a gym. Like they'll be a bit stiff and I'll feel a little bit of something in them, but if it's actually like sore and it feels like they're not healing or recovering from the exercise, then I feel like I'm not having enough protein. And for me, what like a day looks like in terms of protein is like I'd have like maybe a scoop of my protein, like my vegan protein that I have all the time. I'll have like a scoop of that a day in a smoothie. I usually have a couple of eggs a day, like full, like whole eggs. I have no issues with yolks or anything like that. I just maybe a chicken breast or like a equivalent lump of corn, which is like a vegetarian, like a fake meat, or like a serving of like lentil pasta. But then like there's protein in plant foods as well, and then, you know, if I have the odd bit of cheese and stuff, it does add up. If you're eating a balanced diet, you're gonna get enough protein, like as long as you're not eating beige food all day, like chips and then crisps and then bread with butter. Like as long as you're eating a balanced diet, you'll be fine. Final question I'm going to answer is, getting fit or healthy takes so long with slow results. How do you make health lifelong? And like, to be honest, I just think about the alternative, which is a long life, or a life, you might not be very long if you're not looking after yourself, but like a life without fitness. Like what does that look like versus what I know now? It looks a lot harder, and it's, you know, like think about doing a degree. Doing a degree takes years and it's really difficult, but it's still really, really worth it. Having discipline in life, like I'm a big believer in discipline. I kind of love the fact that the results are like slow. I feel like if you just got results overnight, you wouldn't keep chipping away at it. And that's where you always get so much more satisfaction out of, like, if you work on a project for a long, long time. Both of my books that I've written, I spent such a long time writing them, and, you know, then the whole process of the edit, and then it getting printed, and then it has a cover, and then it gets to the shops, and then you promoting it. Like, it's so satisfying, way more satisfying than, like, to me, than say spending a day writing a poem. That's just personally for me. I love the long, difficult slog of it. And but the thing is with fitness, like once it's a habit, once it's part of your life, like it's not, you don't think about it like that, and you get so many positive side effects from it that it's just like, like I can't imagine not doing it anymore. Being fit makes everything easier. Everything is easier if you're fit. It took me a long time to get to that mindset, but yeah, it's a no-brainer to me now. Maybe think about it like that if you're struggling with kind of making a long-term commitment to it. Like, see the bigger picture. Think about your 50-year-old self, your 70-year-old self. Do you want to lay the groundwork now and build good, strong foundations for your future self now to maybe help you prevent, like strength training can prevent osteoporosis and everything. Like, read into it, read into whatever exercise it is you want to do, read into the lifelong benefits of it, and give yourself little refresher courses regularly if you're kind of falling out of love with it, or if you're feeling like, I'm not arsed. If you're falling out of love with exercise, just do a new one. There's so many. Yeah, I really hope this video was helpful. And if you want to ask any questions that I didn't answer, leave it in a comment down below. And don't forget about the 2 leggings for £24 offer that is down below as well from Fabletics, my very lovely sponsor. And yeah, that's the Q&A done, and I will be back soon. What was that? What was that?